Hi friends, let's go ahead and keep working with this one today. Now we have our last but not least, and I actually think it's the most important, so I think that's why they put it last, thing that we're learning from this section. We have what's called the altitude of a triangle. Now you have all used the altitudes of triangle before. What is it? It's the perpendicular segment from the vertex to a line containing the opposite side. Now let me give you an example of when you use this. Let's say this is 12. I would draw in the altitude to find the height in order to find the area of triangles. So the altitude helps us find the area of a triangle. But that means any side can be a base of a triangle, if you remember way back when, and then anything could be the height. So altitudes are really important for us to draw. Now altitudes can be really confusing. They can be drawn inside, outside, or on the triangle as before. So if you have an obtuse triangle, notice every one of these I'm drawing in red are the altitudes. They go from the vertex perpendicular to the other side, from the vertex perpendicular to the line containing the opposite side, from the vertex. These are what we call from here to here the height. Those three segments we'd use for the triangle, but notice we have a point of concurrency again. Now, with an acute triangle, and I did an equilateral, it's very easy to draw in your altitude. I can do the same thing with every side, and I just do it parallel to my body. If I was drawing accurately, you can see that they would all intersect right there. Now, in a right triangle, it's kind of like very easy to do because here's one. If I was drawing the altitude, it would go this way. 2, and then you get your 1 right here for the hypotenuse, and they all intersect at the vertex of your right angle. So all of those have a special name. What are those called again? The orthocenter. I have no idea why they say ortho. So it's the orthocenter of the triangle. Now, what's more important? The altitudes. So here's what I want you to think. How do you draw an altitude? When you have a triangle, you go to your vertex. Go to the side that you're trying to draw the altitude to. Draw it and go straight down. There's your altitude. Don't forget that. And when I talk about altitude, we talk about the height. So remember, you're working with the height. So let's use the next couple and let's see if we can identify all the different things we've drawn in definitions today. It says, is segment AB a perpendicular bisector, an angle bisector, an altitude, or a median, or none of these? And guys, if you don't know definitions, this will totally not work. The first one, here's AB. And notice drawn on the outside. Which definition is it fulfilling? Notice it goes from the vertex and is perpendicular. Notice this is not part of the triangle. So that means if I'm going, it's going perpendicular to the line containing the opposite side. That means segment AB is the altitude. The altitude, remember, has attitude. All right, now the next one, I look at the triangle. Here's AB again. It goes from a vertex and it goes to the midpoint. Well, when do we go from the vertex to the midpoint? Well, that's going to be the median. So it's a median this time. Then I look at the next one and I'm like, whoa, it's not going to midpoints. I don't see it. It's not even a mid-segment. It's none of these. And then let's look at the next one. I see it's perpendicular and it's bisecting. So that must make it a what? A perpendicular bisector. Exactly. And notice it didn't go through the vertex. It doesn't always do that. And on the next one, I don't have any midpoints being drawn, but I have these two congruent angles. So that means AB must be doing what to my larger angle? It's being a bisector. So that one, it's an angle bisector. Now on the next one, don't let it fool you. It's this segment right here. Now looking at it, I'm asking myself the question, is it coming from a vertex point? Is it perpendicular to the line containing the opposite side? This is huge because the legs of a right triangle can be the altitude. So segment AB is the altitude, all right, and that's of a right triangle. And those are huge for later on. hopefully this will give you some idea where these work. Now there's a lot of stuff on your homework. That's why we did it for 2 days. Hopefully we can get some of it figured out today in class. Thanks for working on this one. It was a hard lesson, guys.